To understand the devastation of contagious foot rot, we must look at how a sheep moves. A healthy flock grazes constantly, covering miles of pasture every day. But when foot rot takes hold, every step becomes agonizing. This is an infectious bacterial syndrome that compromises animal welfare and reduces productivity. Once it enters a flock, the financial and labor costs of management can quickly drain a farm's vitality. In a hoof cross-section, prolonged moisture softens the skin, allowing Fusobacterium necrophorum to colonize the surface and cause scald. This damage lets Dichelobacter nodosus bypass the skin, secreting enzymes that dissolve tissue and separate the hoof horn from the dermis. These are strict anaerobic bacteria. They thrive exclusively in oxygen-deprived environments, like the deep, moist pockets of a macerated hoof. Organic and holistic farmers face a difficult choice. They must fight off this relentless dual infection while restricted from using traditional synthetic antibiotics or harsh industrial chemical baths. Defeating this pathogen naturally requires a layered ecosystem strategy. It means building a defense that strips away the bacteria's habitat, alters the hoof's chemistry, and neutralizes the active infection using only natural resources. The first line of defense begins before a sheep even enters the barn. It starts in the macro environment of the pasture itself. Dichelobacter nodosus is an obligate parasite. Without a host, it survives on pasture for just 14 days. Using rotational grazing, farmers weaponize time. Moving the flock to clean paddocks starves the bacteria before sheep return, breaking the transmission cycle. Maintaining dry bedding in barns and gravel walkways is equally important. These dry surfaces eliminate the oxygen-deprived mud that softens the hooves and creates a breeding ground for disease. By mastering environmental hygiene and rotational timing, producers stop the spread of foot rot before the bacteria ever gain access to the flock. If a flock has already been exposed, the focus must shift to the exterior of the hoof. Directly protecting the skin-hoof interface prevents the bacteria from penetrating deeper. The gold standard for natural prevention is a stand-in foot bath using a 10% zinc sulfate solution. Soaking for at least 15 minutes allows the mineral to harden the hoof and disinfect the interdigital skin. For individual treatment, a traditional mix of copper sulfate and pine tar creates a powerful barrier. This thick, heavily mineralized paste forms a water-resistant seal that stays on the hoof, delivering a high concentration of antiseptic copper to the infected area. Farmers also utilize apple cider vinegar soaks as a crucial tool for altering the surface chemistry of the foot. This works through acidification. The acetic acid in the vinegar radically lowers the pH of the hoof. Because these anaerobic bacteria require an alkaline environment to survive, this highly acidic barrier becomes entirely hostile to them. These natural mineral and acidic barriers physically and chemically fortify the outer perimeter of the hoof, preventing opportunistic bacteria from gaining a foothold. When the bacteria successfully penetrate the hoof capsule, the strategy must move to the deepest layer of the holistic defense. To treat active, underrunning lot, organic farmers utilize concentrated botanical antimicrobials, specifically garlic, oregano, and tea tree essential oils. These plants contain potent chemical compounds like the allicin in garlic and the thymol in oregano. When applied directly, these broad-spectrum natural antibiotics work to rupture and destroy the cell membranes of bacteria. For cases involving deep, chronic inflammation, a poultice of turmeric and coconut oil is used. Applied under a bandage, this mixture draws out deep-seated infections. Turmeric's rich curcuminoid content acts as a localized anti-inflammatory, reducing the severe swelling that often occurs deep within the digital tissues. To complete the process, raw honey or aloe vera is applied to the open lesions. These natural agents seal the wound and provide sustained antibacterial action while stimulating rapid cellular regeneration. By utilizing these botanicals, a farmer acts as an internal apothecary, clearing the deep tissue infection and rebuilding the hoof's structural integrity from the inside out. Eradicating foot rot without antibiotics succeeds when a producer moves beyond isolated treatments and addresses the flock's entire habitat. The power of this strategy comes from synergy. Clean pastures break the environmental cycle, acidic mineral baths secure the perimeter, and potent essential oils defeat the deep tissue infection. Reactive chemical treatments often provide a temporary fix. This holistic strategy works differently. It clears the infection and physically hardens the hoof, leaving the animal better equipped to handle environmental pressure without falling back into a state of chronic disease. Integrating these practices aligns a farm with organic principles, creating a sustainable, self-regulating landscape that requires fewer external interventions over time. This requires a high level of dedicated stewardship and an acute understanding of how biological cycles function on the farm. By rejecting synthetic shortcuts in favor of environmental management and targeted herbalism, producers prove that the most powerful tools for a resilient flock are already found